heroes, it is I, Mr. U, and this is the Master Maneuver. This is where I take some time away from comic books and I do my very next favorite thing, which is play board games, because it keeps the mind sharp and prevents you from getting early Alzheimer's. That's what I hear, and that's what I choose to believe. I hope everybody's having a wonderful week. I hope everybody can see me and everybody can hear me. If you can't, well, too bad. I'm not that technical to figure these problems out. But yeah, so I hope everybody's having a good week. I'm riding on an exceptional week. We do have a very busy day on the horizon tomorrow at Comic Hero University in the Montclair Place Mall in the city of Montclair, California. We have a free comic book day coming up tomorrow. There's still a lot to do, but I'm taking some time out of my busy schedule to bring to you the Master Maneuver. If you are not near Montclair to enjoy free comic book day at Comic Hero University, most comic book stores around the country all celebrate free comic book day, and we all do it very differently. I use free comic book day as the beginnings of a month-long, as the beginnings of, I dropped a token, the beginnings of a month-long celebration. For those of you that are local to us, we will be beginning with free comic book day, and then throughout the month we'll be doing other special events such as a cosplay contest. We'll be running board game tournaments. We'll be doing a board game night. We'll be doing a comic book exchange, and then we'll be having a sale at the very end of the month. We'll also be handing out little passports with our syllabus for the month, and if you visit us on 3 of those occasions, we will give you an extra discount on our sale day. So make sure you take advantage, because I don't do sales very often. So when I do, I tend to go a little extra for those that want to support us. Now on to the special feature. We've got the Final Girl board game. Final Girl is one of my favorite games as a fan of spooky movies. The idea behind Final Girl is that we are the final girl in one of these movies, and we are tasked to defeat the killer before the killer defeats us. The more victims we rescue, the more powerful we become, and the more victims that the killer kills, the more powerful the victim becomes. The more of these final feature films that you have, the more you can mix and match. So you could have, this killer in this location, and then this killer in this location. So if you got 30 feature films, then you basically have 30 times 30 different combinations of killers. So this is my 4th week doing it, and this week we're doing the Haunting of Creech Manor, where we will be taking on the Poltergeist at the location, you guessed it, Creech Manor. Let's take a look at what this particular combination deals with. We've done Hans, we've done the Geppetto, and we've done Dr. Fright. Let's see what's different with the Poltergeist and Creech Manor. So here we've got the Poltergeist. The Poltergeist, if you notice on this left-hand side, has no hit points. The Poltergeist is a ghost. We cannot do any damage to the Poltergeist. The only way to defeat the Poltergeist is by finding Caroline and then escaping the location. That primarily is the special thing with the Poltergeist. So if you notice that I'm not attacking the Poltergeist or trying to get cards to attack, it's because we literally can't do any damage to the Poltergeist. Our most difficult of the feature films, because you have to rely on finding Caroline early on in order to survive. Over here we have Creech Manor. Now the thing about Creech Manor that is a little different from all the other locations is that Creech Manor has these these spaces that have an arrow that specifically tell you that you can only move in one direction. So if you're in this space and you want to go into this space, you can. However, you cannot go from this space up into this space because there's no arrow that lets you go up. Now you also have these spaces and then this space here, which have a little window icon. For all intents and purposes, are just considered spaces, but there might be an event card or a terror card or some card that will refer to the window locations. The window locations also happen to be, at least on the right side of the house, happen to be one-way directional movement spaces. So if you were to come out this way, you can, but you cannot go up this tire swing and go back into the house. However, if you notice, this side of the house, you can go down. There's no arrow that's telling you whether or not you can go back up or down or whatever. That's because there is a ladder on this side of the house, which will allow us the ability to come from this particular space up into the house. That, I believe, is it. I don't think that there's any other special events for, or any other special ruling when it comes to the Poltergeist or Creech Manor. So that being said, kiddies, the board is set, the mask is on. Let's ring the bell and get this going. As is the case with every game of Final Girl, you always start with an event card, which I usually forget, but I'm getting better at it because I've been playing this weekly. For our first event, we get the Ghost Hunters. The Ghost Hunters. What does that say? I can't even read that. The EMF readings are off the charts. Jackpot. Replace the 3 victims closest to you, or as many as able, with the special victim meeples. These victims will not follow you until one of them has been killed. Each time one of these victims is killed, we increase bloodlust by an additional 1. So we have basically the Ghostbusters are in the house. And the nearest victims to me are going to be these 3 victims right here. We've got Garrett, Beck, and Miles up over here, and they have now become our Ghostbusters. This is unfortunate because I was going to try and rescue Beck and Garrett, but they are now too busy to leave the house. Okay, we also kind of want to keep them protected because having them protected will prevent the bloodlust track from going up against the Poltergeist. The bloodlust track is, for the most part, fairly normal. She doesn't do a ton of damage. However, I do recall there being some terror cards that will royally screw us up. Okay, so since we can't rescue these guys, we want to find the search locations, so hopefully we can find where Caroline could be. The search locations are in the attic, the closet, and the garage. What I always found pretty funny about this one location is that this is a huge mansion kind of a house, and it's got one closet. We've got a foyer, we've got a ballroom, we've got a trophy room, and one closet that we can search in for some stuff. So our closest spaces, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the closet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then the attic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the garage. Now the killer is down here in this space, and it is going to be a bit of a task to get down here, go into the garage. I mean, maybe that's what we do, is we try to go into the garage, hope that Caroline is there, and then maybe run out. In the garage location, we happen to have the shotgun, but as we've come to know, again, you cannot hurt the poltergeist, so the shotgun is kind of irrelevant. It's a good weapon if we were fighting any other character, What you do is, instead of modifying an attack card, you discard 2 cards. You discard 2 cards from your hand, and then you roll 6 dice, and then you're going to deal a damage to whoever's in your space for every star that you roll. If at least half of the dice are blanks, then you discard the shotgun. So the shotgun doesn't count or doesn't cost any time. From what I saw, yeah. So if you had a bunch of cards in your hand and you were kind of like in final game, or at the final moments of the game, you could just fill your cards or your hand with some cheap cards and just start blasting. But this card is not going to be useful for us against the poltergeist. So that's in the garage. In the attic, we have the Lucky Rabbit's Foot. Lucky's Rabbit's Foot in the attic, which is all the way at the top with Evan and Stephanie. The Lucky Rabbit's Foot, you can discard during the action phase to make a horror roll. For each success, choose one of the following. We can increase time by 2, we can heal ourselves by 1, we can decrease horror by 1, or we can move a space. The Lucky's Rabbit's Foot might be a very useful item. Again, provided that we can get to the attic and do some searching. This particular combination, anytime that you play against a poltergeist, you're going to be doing a lot of massive searching. And then finally, in the closet, we have a ritual dagger. Again, a ritual dagger is mostly attack-oriented. However, the one interesting thing about the ritual dagger is we can discard the ritual dagger to kill a victim in our space. We increase bloodlust like normal. Now, if we do this, we remove all the minor dark power cards from play or deal damage to the killer. So since we can't damage the killer because she has no hit points, we could potentially use the ritual dagger to remove minor dark powers. As of right now, the poltergeist has no minor dark powers. So we could kind of ignore that right now. I think our best choice or best option right now is to potentially go into the attic where Evan and Stephanie are, and hope that we can pull Caroline. If not, at the very least, the Lucky Rabbit's Foot could be of benefit to us. So I think that's where we want to go. Also, before I forget, we are going to be playing as the final girl, Selena. Selena has 6 hit points, and she has 4 spaces with which we can use to rescue victims in. 1 space increases our time by 2. The other space, we can move a space. The 3rd space is take a search action card for free, and the last space reduces horror by 2. If we rescue 4 victims, her special powers, when resolving a search action card, we roll 2 additional dice. And then every additional victim that we rescue, we increase time by 2. Time is our currency. The more time we have, the more we can purchase during the planning phase. So, let me take my cards and let's plan a maneuver. I usually always try to start with a walk and a focus. I keep the other cards kind of in my hand. I always want to ensure that I have at least one movement, because we don't want to get stuck not being able to move. So I think we should chart a course toward the attic and see what happens over the next few actions. So if we were to go, we can't go up that way. The fastest route to the attic is going through the trophy room, into this room, upstairs, to the left, up the ladder, into the attic. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah. It's going to be a pain, kids. It's going to be a pain. Alright, so our first action is going to be going for a walk, and we're going to hope to get some movement going to get us up and around. And I think what we should be purchasing a lot of is going to be the sprint cards and the search cards. We're gonna need to move a lot because these spaces are small and there are many spaces here. So we're gonna be going room to room quite a bit. So let's push this back a little bit so we can see what the results are. All right, so let us begin the master maneuver here. And we are starting off with a blank and a conversion and a conversion. We can convert the weak attack and the short rest because we don't need either of those in this first turn, just so that we don't have to take any damage on this first movement. So we convert this into a success, and then we get to move one space and decrease time by 1. That puts us into the space with Beck and Garrett, the Ghostbusters, but they're not going to come with me because they're busy busting ghosts. The only other card that I would like to use before we go into the killer phase is the focus card. I always like to use a focus either at the end of the turn or the first action, depending on the situations. The more focused we are, if we get ourselves into the green space on the horror track, right over here, that gives us an extra die to roll. And rolling extra dice is always helpful. So we're going to try and focus ourselves, reduce horror by 1, and hopefully we get 2. Alright, we got a double success here. Double success gives us decrease horror by 1, increase time by 2, which puts us at 7 time. We are in the 2 space horror space, so we're 1 away from the green, and we are at 7 time. So it is not a planning phase. So we want to buy some cards. We should buy both sprints and the search card. That costs us 6 time because the sprint cards are 2 time and the search card is 2 time. And I think we should buy ourselves a close call for 1 time. That is 7 time. That is what we will do during the planning phase. Our 0 cost cards go back into the 0 cost space. Now it is the killer turn. Oh man, yeah, this is going to be rough already, I can tell. Okay, so the killer is going to move, or is going to target the nearest final girl or victim. It's going to move and then it's going to attack. So the nearest victim is going to be this person down over here. We'll say that one, that's Cooper down over there. So the poltergeist goes through the foyer into the room between the foyer and the garage, targets Cooper, and kills Cooper. Ah! Sorry, Coop. I could not rescue you. Your bloodlust goes up by 1, which increases our horror by 1. But other than that, her stats stay the same. Now we will look at a terror card and see what other havoc the poltergeist will do to us. The shadows are closing in. There are no victims on the board. Discard. Nope. Okay, there are victims. Otherwise, we increase horror by 2. That puts us at 5. That is bogus. Then the poltergeist targets the nearest victim, moves, and then attacks. So over here, the nearest victim is this person above the foyer. We'll say that person is Chase. So the poltergeist goes up towards where Chase is and kills Chase. Ah! Sorry, my friend. We're already down 2. The bloodlust track goes up by 1, which now reveals her dark power. So this is already going utterly fantastic for us. all of your moves of 2 or more spaces are reduced by 1 space. That is bogus. That is absolutely bogus. So it's going to take us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement to get into that space. And then we're going to have to change tactics and just go to the closet first. There's nothing that we can do to offset that stiff wind card. So we are now reduced by movement for the rest of the game. This is one of the reasons why she is considered one of the hardest. This particular combination is considered one of the hardest. So let's see. It is. Oh wait, a victim was killed, but there are no victims in the space with the killer, and that then means that we don't have to panic anybody. Since we're not panicking, we go to upkeep. There's nothing going on in the upkeep phase. It goes back to us. So I think we should start the round with a walk. We're only going to be able to move 1 space. Ugh, I hate that stiff wind card. Okay, we got a conversion. However, I do have a close call in my hand. I don't want to convert anything, so we'll just play the close call. We'll re-roll 1 die. We'll re-roll this blank and hope that we get something. That's... Okay, we got 2 conversions. Okay, so we're just going to take the big loss, and we're going to move 1 space, take a damage, and reduce time by 2. So we're going to move 1 space, reduce time by 2, and take a damage. Okay. Now we shall go for a sprint. If we roll double successes, that will give us the opportunity to move 2 spaces. Otherwise, we're just going to be moving 1 space. Oh my goodness. This is not going to go well. Alright. Believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, you will manifest the victory. If you believe you're going to lose, you're going to lose. Oop, lost that guy. Okay, that's 1 success. Okay, 1 success gives us 2 movement, which is reduced by 1. So now we move over here. Now I can push 1 more sprint. Do that 1 more sprint, or we can save it for the next turn. The poltergeist is close enough to where she can target and attack us. We have no defense, so we could take 2 damage, but that would protect our Ghostbusters from getting killed. If I move out of that space, the Ghostbusters will definitely be killed, as they are the closest. But you know, it's their fault. It's their fault for not listening to me when I was telling them that we needed to boogie. So I'm going to go for it, guys. We're going to go for another sprint. We're going to get a walk on the next turn. And hopefully we can get ourselves 2 more movement will put us into the closet. Oh boy, double conversion. Okay. Oh, we sprinted and we lost the time there. Okay, well, I think we should just take the loss because we're only going to be able to move 1 space regardless. I don't have enough cards in my hand to do a double conversion to get us to move 2. So we can move 1 space, take a damage, reduce time by 2, and end our turn. So we're going to move the 1 space here. We're going to take the damage, reduce time by 2, and then our turn is over. We have 1 time. So the only thing that we can purchase is a close call, which is what I'm going to do. We get our 0 cards back. So we've got another focus, a walk. We do have a short rest, which I will probably use on the next turn. The poltergeist is notorious for having cards that can attack you anywhere on the map. So we want to try our best to keep as many hit points on us, because she could potentially do some crazy damage in a single turn. Okay, so it is now Poltergeist's turn. Oh man, this is gonna suck. Okay, she's gonna go up 1 and then 2. She's gonna target one of the Ghostbusters. Garrett tries to protect Beck and gets himself killed. Sorry, Garrett. Okay, the Ghostbusters, when they die, they increase Bloodlust by 2. So, Bloodlust goes up by 2, which has now increased the damage that the Poltergeist does now by 2. But we also have to decrease our horror, or increase horror by 2, which now puts us in the red. Oh no. Alright, let's see what terror card we get. Caroline, where are you? If Caroline is not with you, discard and draw the next tarot card. Otherwise, oof, that would be terrible. Yeah, we don't want to lose Caroline, so now we got to get another tarot card. Oh no, we just had this one. So now we decrease horror by 2. Oh, this is awful. Okay, so we decrease horror by 2. However, the problem with that is we're already at the red. So if we decrease or increase horror by 2, we go 1 and 2, which increases the bloodlust track by 2. 1 and 2. So the Poltergeist now moves 3 spaces and hits for 2 damage. However, the Poltergeist now has to target the nearest victim, move, and attack. They're already in a space with Beck. So he's just going to kill off Beck. Killing off Beck increases the bloodlust by 2, which decreases our horror by 1. The Poltergeist is already at the top of the bloodlust track. So we increase horror by 1, which increases the bloodlust by 1. So that means I take damage, and then I discard the next terror card. Do I take 1 damage or I take 3 damage? I think I just take 1 damage. And then we discard the next terror card. This has only been turn 2. Turn 2. I scared the poop out of me. You kidding me? I'm almost dead and we're only in turn 2. This is terrible. And I even brought the volume down on that screen so as not to scare you. Okay. Victims were killed, but there's nobody to panic. So we should... there's nothing going on during the upkeep phase, so then it's going to go back to us. Oh boy. Oh boy. First things first is we got to get ourselves out of the red because we're only rolling 1 die. So we got to get ourselves 1 success that'll put us back into the white so we can roll 2 dice. Oh, man. Okay, we got a conversion card. We don't need the weak attack. Let's just get rid of the weak attack and the close call to convert that into a success. That gives us 1 decreasing of horror, and then we decrease turn by 1. Now we're back to rolling 2 dice. Okay. So we should go for a walk to put us into the closet. That is where we've got somebody's hiding in the closet. And I think that's Paul. I think Paul is hiding in the closet. He's been hiding there because he just pooped himself. It's Blake's fault. He was asking what would happen if the situation happened in the first 3 turns. Was he specifically asking for this situation? Because man, this is awful. This is a terrible situation. The only thing that we could potentially have that would work in our benefit is if we pull Caroline right now. I have not rescued a single victim. Yeah, I really hate these Ghostbusters. I don't know what it is. I shuffle this deck 1,000 times and I always get the Ghostbusters right at the start. Okay, that's 1 success. 2 success. 2 success. Whoops. What were we doing? We were going for a walk. 2 success. Let's move 2 spaces. But because of the dark power stiff wind, we have to reduce our movement by 1. So we're only moving 1 space, which puts us in the closet with Paul. Okay, Paul. You might be able to get out of this alive, my friend. We're going to go for a search. Since we're in there. We are in the closet, which is where the ritual dagger is. Thanks a lot, Blake. I blame you because you didn't believe in Mr. U. You have now cursed the master maneuver, and I will pull the defeat out of the jaws of victory. Okay, that's 1 success. And there's a conversion. I need these cards. So let's take the 1 success. No. I think we need to see if Caroline is under that ritual dagger. So I'm going to get rid of the short rest and the focus. What did I do this turn? I did a focus, I did a walk, which decreased our time, and now we're searching. We're going to convert that into a success, which is going to decrease time by 1. And we're going to take a look at the top 2 cards of the closet. So as we've seen, we've got the ritual dagger. This is not of any benefit to us. And then next to that is the rope ladder. Might be my only way out of here. Discard this card to remove the broken ladder token, or to place the rope ladder token in a room with a 1-way movement arrow. Movement is now 2-way to and from the space. Yeah, let's take the rope ladder. Okay, rope ladder is going to be much more helpful to us. And then we're going to put this on the bottom face down. And since we're here, that we're going to no, I don't want to end my turn just yet. Where are the rest of my cards? I had a focus and a short rest. So let's do that. Let's do a short rest because I feel like we're just gonna get beamed. No, let's do a short rest. We're gonna need another search card. If I don't, what is of more benefit, the focus or the short rest? If I get a double success on the focus, I get the 2 time. I suppose we need to do one or the other if we roll 1 success. I've got 3 hit points, and the poltergeist hits for 3. So, you know what? I'm going to do the short rest. Because as of right now, I will not survive an attack by the poltergeist. Well, that's a big fat fail. Oh, no. And that means we do get a heart back. Increase horror by 1. Puts us back at 1 die. Decrease time by 1. And then our turn is over. So, well, at least we got 1 heart back. Our turn is over. We've got 2 time. I'm going to just buy the search card. That's it for our turn. And then we get the walk. Oh, man. Oops. We're going to go down here. No, down at the bottom. Okay, so we got ourselves another search card. And if we can survive this time. First time chat. As you think, so shall you become. Exactly. That's what I say all the time. If you think you're going to lose, you're going to lose. But if you think you're going to win, you're going to win. But I came into this thinking I was going to lose. This is, once again, considered one of the hardest of all the feature films. This one and the Slaughter in the Grove, Inkinyamba. Okay, so I've got my 3 cards. Let's see what the Poltergeist is going to do. The Poltergeist moves 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the nearest victim is down here. So this is Adam over here. 1, 2, 3. And Adam just took 3 damage. Adam has been killed. Sorry. Because Adam was killed. Bloodlust track goes up. I take a damage, and we discard the next terror card. Okay, so 5 spaces. Well, they were here, right? 1, 2, 3. No, that's 4 spaces. You got the trophy room, this room, up the stairs here. So we're at 4. The nearest person was Adam, unfortunately, man, and Adam was now killed. You and I are still safe in the closet, but keep your hands to yourself, buddy. All right, let's play a terror card. Unstoppable Evil. This sounds fun. Sounds like a whole lot of fun. We're going to roll a die. We take damage equal to your roll. You may defend or kill that many victims. You choose which victims. If there are not enough victims, you must choose to take the damage. Okay, well, we've got 3 hit points here. If we roll a 1, I'm just going to take the 1 damage. This is boo-boo. The poltergeist is just running around killing everybody. What did I roll? That was 1. That was 1 damage. And I might as well take it because if I kill a victim, the bloodlust track is going to go up and I'm going to take a damage and discard the next terror card. So, yeah, we'll just take the damage. Stupid ass freaking poltergeist. Okay. A victim was killed. Yeah, poltergeist, man. Night of the Chicken Dead. So there was a victim killed, but there are no victims in the space with the poltergeist. So nobody panics. There's nothing to happen during the upkeep, so it goes back to us. Oh, baby. We're going to have to focus as the first thing to do. Please, for the love of Jeebus, give us a star. We got a conversion. Okay, if I don't convert, I'm going to have 1 die. The poltergeist is 3 spaces away from us, so it's going to go into our space and it's going to attack us. So, I think I'm just going to have to get rid of what I was planning on doing. Give ourselves a star. Increase horror by 1, decrease time by 1, and that is it for us. Okay, we've got 5 time. We should buy a sprint and a guard and a close call. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. With our 5 time, we're going to get the sprint card, we're going to get a guard card, and we're going to get a close call. No, not a sprint card. Get a search card, stupid. Get a search card. And then we also get the weak attack, the focus, the walk, and a short rest. So hopefully we have the ability to do something on the next turn. We cannot run fast enough to where we can avoid getting hit by the poltergeist. Okay, so we just did our shopping. We're back to 6 time. It's now the poltergeist's turn. Okay, the poltergeist moves 4 freaking spaces. So it's going to go 1, 2, and 3. That is the closest. That is the closest. It is now in our space, Paul. And worst case scenario is she kills you because she also does damage to me. And yeah, so you know, I think she saw us snuggling in the closet, holding on to each other for dear life. And Paul has been killed. Increases the bloodlust track by 1, which gives us 1 damage. We have 1 hit point left, which now gives us the adrenaline die. We'll be rolling 3 dice at least. Discard the next terror card. And then we play a terror card. Sweet mother. Yeah, Poltergeist, Night of the Chicken Dead. If you've never seen that movie, boy oh boy, you're in for a treat, kiddies. Alright, here we go. Something is coming through the wall. If there are no victims on the board, but there are. All victims panic. Any victims that exit through a window are killed, and then we play an event card. I knew there was a reason my fortune cookie didn't have a fortune in it yesterday. Yeah, because you have no fortune. Your fortune was you were going to get blasted by the Poltergeist in the closet. You were never able to get out of the closet. So, sorry, Megadoof. All right, let's see. So we have to panic victims. Let's start with Joseph down here at the bottom. If Joseph comes out through the window, Joseph is killed. So we need to roll a 1 through 4 so that he goes into this room. If we roll a 5 or a 6, Joseph has been killed. We rolled a 4, so Joseph moves closer to the exit. Now we've got Miles up here by himself hunting ghosts. 1 or a 2 brings him into this room. A 3 through 6 brings him closer to the Poltergeist. He rolls a 2, which moves him down into the space closest to the window. Now we've got Evan and Stephanie up at the top. They will stay unless I roll a 5 or a 6. They're up there making out in the attic, thinking no one's paying attention. But they heard some screaming downstairs, so they're like, maybe we should take a look. Maybe it was the wind. The wind? The wind? That was the stupidest thing I ever heard. What a stupid bitch. We roll a 5, so Evan moves downstairs because he had to investigate this. What? What do you want? Uh-oh, we got a guest. Come on. This one seems very needy right now. No, I don't want your paws on the table. You're going to knock stuff over. Okay, so we have the last victim. We've got Stephanie up over here. Let's see if Stephanie stays. Your breath stinks. Oh, let's re-roll that. And she rolls a 6, so Stephanie has now also decided to move down. So all victim, nobody exited through a window, so nobody was killed, but now we got to play an event card. There was no Tiz in this scenario. Tiz and Blake were in the last scenario, and they were playing in the street, and to avoid getting hit by a car, they were rescued. Okay, you can go right now. Okay, so now we have to play an event card. Unless Blake and Tiz are in every adventure, which I could absolutely do. Let's see what event we get. Frozen in fear. The only thing I could move was my eyeballs. It was terrifying. Victims will no longer panic during the panic phase. Okay. Doesn't matter. It really, truly doesn't matter. Yeah, I have not rescued any victims, but we are rolling 3 dice. So, I think we should start the turn with another search card. Jeez Louise. Yeah, I'm going to save the short rest for last, because I'm going to want to roll these 3 dice as much as possible. So we'll go for a search. And then depending on what we roll, we'll go for a walk. It's because I said stupid B. You are correct. That is what happened. I think that is no. I definitely sworn on the stream before. Okay, we're gonna go for a search. Oh, for the love of Almighty, for the power of Mr. U, please. Give us 2 successes. Oh, the auto mod held a message for reasons because of misogyny. If I allow it, it will post it to chat. because saying stupid B is misogynistic. Way to go, Tiz. I could say it on the stream, but you can't write it. All right, here we go. Here we go. This is the make or break. This is where we find Caroline. Okay, well, we got one success. We can convert. Let's get rid of the weak attack and the close call to convert this guy into a success. Now we got two successes, which lets us look at the top two cards of the item deck in the closet. Is Caroline in the closet? If she's not in the closet, we could walk up to the attic, which is 3 spaces away, and hope to sweet Jiminy Crickets that she's there. Okay, let's see here. We've got the first card is a padlock. To keep something in or out, place the padlock token between any 2 rooms. Only you and victims moving... Whoops. Place the padlock token between any 2 rooms. Only you and victims moving with you may move through the padlock. If an enemy attacks while in a room adjacent to the padlock, ignore the attack and remove the padlock token instead. Where was this like 1,000 years ago? We could have locked the frickin' Poltergeist in the room and we've got a knife. Well, I know what I'm going with. We're going with the padlock. We're going to try to keep that Poltergeist locked in the room as long as possible, which is literally going to be 1 turn. Okay, so there's no Caroline. We've got the attic and we've got the garage. Attic is closest, 1, 2, 3. Garage is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 spaces away. Yeah, it has really only been 4 turns. 4 turns, and the Poltergeist is at like mass strength. Okay, we're rolling 3 dice. We've lost 1 time. We should walk, focus, and short rest, I think is going to be the turn order that we're going to take. We're going to go for a walk with our 3 happy dice. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Okay, we got 1 success, which lets us move 1 space and decrease time by 1. So we're going to move there, and then we're going to put the padlock on this space right here. Right? Can we put the padlock between any 2 rooms? Place the pad. Yeah, I'm assuming we discard that card once we use it. Okay, so we have walked. We've decreased our time by 1. That puts us at 4 time. Let's go for a focus. Come on, baby. Nope, that's a big old doo-doo roll. I don't want to convert, so we'll just take the loss and decrease time. Okay, I'm rolling like doo-doo. But what's new? What is new? Now we're going to do a short rest. No, the doo-doo rolls are the worst. Doo-doo rolls are the worst. Oh, no. I don't have a conversion. That's another big fat fail. So we can't even convert that. Oh, my Lord. That means we do get 1 hit point back. So now we lose that extra die. That's a bummer. Not that it matters. When you're rolling like doo-doo, you can roll 6 dice and you're just rolling all blanks. Increase horror by 1, which means we're only rolling 1 die. Again, decrease time by 1. And our turn is over, which is fine because we were done there anyway. We've got 1 time. The only thing we buy is a close call. We get a focus and a walk back. It's going to take us 1,000 years to get up into the attic anyway. So, that's fine. That is absolutely fine. It's not fine. It's not okay. Okay, so now it is now the Poltergeist's turn. And the Poltergeist is going to move and attack. But because we got the padlock, if an enemy attacks while in a room adjacent to the padlock, ignore the attack and remove the padlock token instead. But wait a minute. Okay, so let's take a look at this situation, all right? We've got this padlock here. If an enemy attacks while in a room adjacent to the padlock, ignore the attack and remove the padlock token instead. Since there's no victim in that room, is the Poltergeist going to attack still? I would assume so, right? Like, otherwise I just keep the Poltergeist locked in the room the whole time. But it would be interesting if the Poltergeist doesn't attack because there isn't a victim in that room to attack. What are your guys' thoughts? Did I just lock the Poltergeist and give myself about 1,000 turns to find the girl? Not that it's going to matter. I will probably end up killing myself. How do we want to play it? The Poltergeist breaks the padlock right now? Or the Poltergeist is locked into that room until it finds a way to teleport out, which it could potentially do with the tarot cards. What do you think, fellow heroes? You know, I'm going to take this time to confer with the rules, whether or not the Poltergeist, you know, the killer attacks every turn. If it says, if able, then I think I might have just got myself a lock here. Okay, so let's attacking. No, that's when we're attacking. The planning phase. When the attack icon is present in the killer action, the killer attacks a single target in its space. For each attack icon, the killer will perform one attack. The amount of damage the killer deals with each attack is indicated by its current attack value. Each attack will have one target, either a victim or the final girl. The killer will always attack victims in their space before the final girl, unless the final girl is specifically indicated as the target. So it says it would attack a victim or final girl in its space, but there is no final girl or victim in its space. And the padlock says, if an enemy attacks while in a room adjacent to the padlock, ignore the attack and remove the padlock token instead. So based off of what I read in the rules, there's no target for the Poltergeist to attack. So if there's no target for the Poltergeist to attack, it's not going to attack. So it sits in that room until either a victim gets in there or it teleports out. So I think I might have saved myself a couple of turns. But we'll see what happens next. So that was just the Poltergeist action there. Holy cow, guys. Let's see here. Tarot card. I have to kill you. It told me to kill you. If there are no victims on the board, all victims in spaces adjacent to you move to your space. I already don't like where this is going. If there are any victims in your space, you may play one action card that inflicts damage. Kill one victim for each damage. Do not increase bloodlust. Do I have an attack card in my hand? I don't. Take a damage for each victim in your space. Then they all panic. Okay, well, depending on what is under my token, I think we just died. Because Evan and Stephanie are going to move into my space because of this tarot card. And they are going to do one damage each to me. I only have 2 damage. I cannot guard it. I can only play an attack card. So, I'm going to take 2 damage. If that is a blank, Evan and Stephanie have killed me. Joseph and Miles are left alone in the house with the Poltergeist, and they are subsequently going to be killed. So let's see what happens here. Oh, she's on a rampage. She's on a rampage. She's not happy with this result either. So let's see. Do we live or do we die? Oh my jeebers. We live to fight another day. We can still heal ourselves. If I remember correctly. Oh my gosh. We just can't come back from that. Oh wow. Okay, so we cannot take any more damage. We're back to 2 cards. No victim was killed. Oh, and then the victims panic. I forgot that part. So Evan and Stephanie came in. They punched me. They hurt me. They pulled on my meat flaps, and they came to and realized, "Oops, you're not a monster." And so now we have to panic them both. The ideal, where are we? Ideal roll would be if they got a 5 or a 6, so they could come down this way. If they roll a, no, I'm sorry, they have to roll a 1 to go downstairs. 5 or 6 puts them in the closet, and a 2 through 4 puts them underneath the attic again. So let's not roll a 5 or a 6. Well, I cursed myself. I cursed myself by doing it, by saying it, so Evan goes into the closet. And now Stephanie. And Stephanie rolled a 1, so Stephanie goes downstairs like the smart woman that she is. Evan ran like a buffoon into the closet with... I manifested. That was my own fault. I have nobody to blame but myself. I don't have a healing card, which is going to be problematic because Evan is going to die on the next turn. When a victim is killed, because we're already at the top of the bloodlust track, I'm going to take a damage which will kill me. I can't guard against that. What's in the attic? The Lucky Rabbit's Foot is in the attic. But I cannot move more than 1 space. I can't get into the attic fast enough. Do you guys think that I can defend against this damage? I don't think it says that I can't. Let's see. Because the guard card specifically says ignore all damage, reduce damage by 2, or reduce damage by 1. If I can guard that, then I think we should be okay. Let's start... Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, no, they just panicked in. That was the end of this phase. Then we go into the panic phase, but no victims can panic because of the event card. There's nothing going on during the upkeep, so it goes back to us. So I'm going to start with a focus. We are at the bottom of the horror track. Sorry, I'm only rolling 2 dice. I'm going to say that I can guard against that because that'll make the game. Yeah, I think I can too. So that's the way I'm going to play it. Unless the game designer comes in and somebody calls the game police on me, I realistically don't care. I should have a button for game police. I'm going to add game police to the button.
¿Quieres un ventilador?
No. Sorry, Comic Hero Mom is asking if I want a fan because it was pretty warm in the garage, but I think I'm okay. I'm not sweating because of the heat. I'm sweating because of the Poltergeist. Nope, I need that card. Let's play the close call and just re-roll the blank. We just need 1 success, kids. 1 success. Come on, baby. Double. That's big fat nothing. Okay, so that gives -2 to time. That's all that did. So we're just going to be rolling 2 dice for the rest of the round. We're going to go for a walk. Yeah, exactly. That's what Tasmanian Tiz is for. She is the game police. And she's just, every time I do something wrong, she just sits on the top of the car. Wheel, 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 wheel. Because I did something wrong. Okay, we got one success, which lets us move one space. We decrease time by 1. And that is it. Okay, so I have a guard card in my hand, which I'm going to keep. And I think we should purchase a search card and the close call. Because on the next turn, we'll be able to walk into the attic, search it. No, I should buy a guard card. No, we'll buy the search card. Well, I don't know. I don't know what the right thing to do is. He's going to kill Evan. The poltergeist is going to kill Evan. But she can't get out of this room. If there's nobody left for her to kill, then we could ignore the guard card, which I have one in my hand. I have a short rest also coming in. So short rest, I can get a couple of hit points back. Okay, yeah. So we're going to get a search card and a close call. That's my 3 time. And then I got the short rest, a weak attack, a walk, and a focus. That close call goes away. Okay, so now it is the killer's turn. Oh boy, this is pretty terrifying. Okay, the killer is going to target Evan. Evan, because you ran into the closet, this is your own fault. I was telling you not to go in there. You got yourself killed. Sorry, pal. That increases horror by 1. We discard the next terror card. And I take a damage, but I'm going to guard against that damage with my 2 dice. It's only 1 damage, so even if I roll... no, I need to roll at least 1 star. Okay, we got 1 star, reduces damage by 2. I take none. Okay, now there is no terror card to draw. Since there's no terror card to draw, the final power flips over. And that is the end of her turn. So what power does she get? Nothing is easy. You see? You see? It doesn't even matter that we locked her into the room. Place the poltergeist in your space. She's going to target the nearest final girl or victim and attack. All 0-cost action cards now cost 1. Okay, well, I think that officially is going to be game over, kids. Oh my god. Okay. So there's no panic phase because victims will not panic. I honestly thought I found a loophole, but I know that this character, through the terror cards or other means, can teleport around the board. And I just did not think it was going to be the freaking final power. That blows. That really blows. But okay, so first thing we're going to do on our turn is we're going to focus. Let's see if we can find a way to stay alive. Gosh. We're going to close call that. We're going to roll this die. Just 1 success, man. 1 success. Nope. Well, we don't need the weak attack. We do need the search, and we need the walk. Oh, well. We lose 2 times. Gosh, how can I not roll every time I'm getting that focus? Just losing time. We're going to go for a walk, try to get into the attic. Okay, that's 1 success. That gets us into the attic. We're going to move into the attic, and we're going to reduce time by 1. Okay, now that we're in the attic, we are going to search it. The Poltergeist does 3 damage. I can't heal enough to prevent that damage, so I'm going to be dead on this next. Oh, wait a minute. There is a lucky rabbit's foot. We'll see. Let's see what happens. Okay. I need that short rest. So we got 1 success. Reduce time by 1. We're going to take the lucky rabbit's foot. And we're going to use it. We're going to use the lucky rabbit's foot to give ourselves a hit point. So, discard during the action phase to make a horror roll. For each, well, that's assuming I get to roll a star. For each success, for each star. And my horror roll currently is only 2 stars. Man, this blows. Okay. Oh, I got 1 star. Okay, so that gives me 1 heart. Okay, that's discarded. And we're going to do a short rest. With a short rest, we'll give ourselves 2 hit points. Well, we can give ourselves 2 hit points if I roll 2. Nope. We rolled a big fat nothing. I think this is death for us here, guys. This is it. There's nothing I can do. I convert. So, we get a heart back. Decrease horror by 1, or increase horror by 1. Decrease time by 1, so I can't buy anything anyway. Our turn is over. Yes, sir. That's a big one of those. That's a big one of those. But because we increased horror, the bloodless track goes up. Means I take a damage. And that is it for our turn. We got 1 time. The only thing I buy is a close call. We get a walk and a focus back. And that goes there. And okay. And now it is the Poltergeist's turn. The Poltergeist is going to teleport into our space. Then it's going to target the nearest final girl or victim, which is me. And then they do 3 damage, and I have been killed. That is it. I'm dead. Nothing I can do. Game over. I lost. I have not mastered the maneuver. I did not master the maneuver. It was all in the dice, man. I couldn't roll anything. I could not roll. But again, I pulled victory out of the face of defeat before, out of doo-doo rolls. Let's see what, we've gone through the entire terror deck. Let's see what items were in the attic. We had the first aid kit. We had Mr. Floppy. This is Caroline's little stuffed rabbit. And we had a candle, which meant Caroline was in the garage the entire time. So in the garage, let's see how far down Caroline was in the garage. First card to flip over is a list of things in the whatever. Oh, and that would reveal what cards. That would have been helpful. That would have been very helpful. Lucky dice. And at the bottom of the deck was Caroline in the garage. So when I had started this this feature film, we were in this space here. And the garage was the second closest room, but I chose not to go into the garage because the killer, the Poltergeist, was in the ballroom. And what I could have done is gone out the window, up and around here. So if I'd done this, I think we had a victim here and here. The Poltergeist on the first turn went in here and there and killed those 2 guys. And then I could have gone up and then snuck around while the Poltergeist was up here killing everybody else. They didn't get that teleport until the very, very end. And we did get, well, I mean, the padlock wouldn't have been in our possession. We would have gotten Caroline, gotten and boogied on out. Well, that's the nature of Final Girl. We can't always be winners. Sometimes we're losers, but it's not the victory or defeat that matters. It's the journey that gets us there along the way. As usual, kids, thank you so much for joining me on the Master Maneuver. We're going to be here next Friday where we will do the Slaughter in the Grove. We'll play against Inkinyamba. The Poltergeist I have defeated before. Inkinyamba I have never been able to beat at all ever. So I have zero hopes that I will be successful against Inkinyamba. That all being said... Oh, wait. The final girl was killed. I forgot. So that'll be next Friday. As I said at the start of the stream, tomorrow is Free Comic Book Day. If you have a comic shop that is local to you, give them a visit. Give them a visit and get some free comic books and see what they have to offer. If you're close to Montclair, come on in and get some free comics from us, and that way you can see what we got going on for the rest of the month. We are real close to potentially starting a video game stream, which I am terrible at video games. The older I get, the harder it is for me to push buttons. But I think that'll be fun. So look out for the Botched Maneuver coming soon. Other than that, my fellow heroes, you have yourselves a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next Friday.